Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is a good and bad video, I would say. In the sense of, probably the Trump's case dealing with the Mar-a-Lago is probably going to falter, probably going to go into his favor. However, the other cases are more scary and more problematic. And I'll be going over this with you guys to kind of guide you through kind of what's going on. I don't think my audience is stupid, though. I think they know exactly what I'm talking about. But just for some others that want to get a better idea what's going on, here we are. We have this. Jack Smith's documents case against Trump in danger of being tossed. This was about 6 days ago. Special counsel Jack Smith's classified documents case against former President Donald Trump is likely to be tossed out in large part or in full because of a procedural error, according to investigative reporter Paul Sperry. The Real Clear Investigations correspondent cited unnamed legal insiders in an X platform post writing, developing. Legal insiders say Jack Smith's USC 1001 false statement charges against Trump will be tossed since Trump was never even interviewed by a federal agent. Also, Sperry intimated that Smith's is not built on substantial evidence but instead relies largely on inflammatory rhetoric meant to sway a jury. New Jack Smith's January 6th indictment of Trump repeatedly relies on a fusilage of subjective and even inflammatory language devoid of underlying facts and evidence to appeal emotionally to jurors, including fraudulently 63 times, false and falsely 94 times, fake 5 times, sham 3 times, he wrote in another X post. Sperry also claimed that Smith's case relies in large part on an emoji, developing. Jack Smith's Mar-a-Lago obstruction case against Trump is based on an email emoji related to security footage that was never actually destroyed, according to illegal insiders, he tweeted. Part of Smith's case against the former president has already been tossed. U.S. District Judge Alan Cannon of the Southern District of Florida, a Trump appointee who is overseeing the case, invalidated 2 of Smith's sealed filings early last month. Kyle Cheney, a senior legal correspondent for Politico, wrote via X, Judge Cannon comes out swinging at special counsel this morning, striking 2 prosecutors' sealed filings and demanding an explanation of the legal propriety of using an out-of-district grand jury proceeding to continue to investigate the Dock's case. Cannon wrote that the special counsel states in inclusionary terms that the supplement should be sealed from a public view to comport with grand jury secrecy, but the motion for leave and the supplement plainly failed to satisfy the burden of establishing a sufficient legal or factual basis to warrant sealing the motion and supplement. She then denied the motion by prosecution. Among other topics as raised in the response shall address the legal propriety of using an out-of-district grand jury proceeding to continue to investigate and or to seek most indictment hearings on matters pertinent to the instant indicted matter in this district. She wrote, directing the prosecution to respond within 2 weeks. Conservative reporter Julie Kelly tweeted, I told you Judge Cannon is legit. She is not going to tolerate Jack Smith's BS. This is gold. She asked defense to rise possible grand jury abuse by DOJ for conducting nearly all of the investigation in D.C., then switching to FLA at last minute for indictment. Kelly added that Cannon also won't tolerate DOJ's nonstop request for secrecy. She already denied a government motion asking to keep names of 80% witnesses under seal. Florida Republican Representative Matt Gaetz, meanwhile, has threatened to call Smith before a congressional committee after the special counsel filed additional charges against Trump. The felony charges, which include conspiracy to defraud the United States, are part of the investigation into alleged attempts to overturn the 2020 election leading up to the January 6, 2021 attack on the U.S. Capitol. Gaetz took Smith to task, as well as fellow Republicans, after the filing. So, that's what's been going on here. So this case, the arrest of Mar-a-Lago, by the looks of it, may be tossed. It might be, he might be safe here. However, we're getting into a little bit worse issues. We have this. Outrageous. Biden DOJ attacks Trump. Says his daily statements threaten to prejudice jury pool in Jack Smith's D.C. case. So it goes on to say that earlier Tuesday, prosecutors from Smith's office asked Chukin to be allowed to file a motion in the case that would be sealed from public view. The details of that motion are not known, but do contain sensitive materials, according to a subsequent court filing. Trump lawyers later filed an emergency motion asking Chutkan to vacate the prosecutor's motion, claiming that Smith's office had not first asked the defense lawyers their opinion on that move, or otherwise notified the defendant it would be filing the motion for leave. Defense lawyers also noted that Chutkan granted Smith's motion without giving Trump the chance to respond, asking that she allow them sufficient to respond to every motion filed in this matter. Smith's office fired back in another court ruling. Prosecutors wrote that they had in fact asked Trump's lawyers for their position on the sealed motion and that they had informed Chutkan of that position. The prosecutors also said the filing was consistent with the terms of a protective order previously issued by Chutkan, who told the parties to submit filings under seal if those documents include unredacted sensitive materials. President Trump has been indicted 3 times so far by Jack Smith's team of rapid prosecutors. Trump was indicted on 37 federal counts, blah, 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 in Miami in June. So we all know this. So, yeah, that's what's been going on here. So they really want to go after Trump due to his actual speech, to his language, because, that all makes sense for some apparent reason. Like, his language is what's going to sway the jury. Well, we're going to also go into this, because it seems pretty favored in Jack Smith's case in this respect. That says 64% of D.C. residents would find Trump guilty before a trial even begins. Only 8% would find him innocent. How is this fair? Well, it's not fair. It's not fair at all. It's what we call a very corrupt and biased system. We go on to say here, a new Emerson College polling survey in the nation's capital asked D.C. residents if they would vote to find former President Trump guilty in the trial over Trump's efforts to subvert results of the 2020 election. A majority, 64% of residents would vote to find Trump guilty, while 8% would find him innocent, with 28% unsure. We have to hope that 28% comes to light. Spencer Campbell, executive director of Emerson College Polling, said perception of Trump's guilt varies by gender. 75% of women would vote to find Trump guilty compared to 54% of men. Men are more likely to find the former president innocent at 12% compared to 4% of women. Democratic voters find Trump guilty 69% to 5%. Independents share a similar attitude. 53% think Trump is guilty and 40% innocent. Republicans are more split. 36% think Trump is guilty, 35% innocent, and 30% unsure. Regardless of their own opinion about the verdict, 57% expect the jury to find him guilty, while 10% expect the jury to find Trump innocent, and 33% are unsure. So, how is this possible, Jack Smith, that this is going to be happening? By the way, I'm going to show you a video of this going on here about what Jack Smith wants to do immediately.
And his team of prosecutors are supposedly worried about the statements that President Trump releases on a social media platform regarding this case. For instance, just yesterday, President Trump released this message right here on Truth Social, referring to Jack Smith as being quote-unquote deranged. And so Jack Smith is making the argument that this case needs to go to trial ASAP before the jury pool in Washington, D.C. gets contaminated after reading too many posts from Donald Trump.
That the jury pool is going to get contaminated by the posts of Donald Trump. When we have 64% of the residents would find Trump guilty before even a trial begins. So please, tell me, Smith, how is that remotely possible when you have D.C. residents that would even find this man guilty before even a trial? It's like you don't even think, right? It sounds like complete stupidity in the highest form possible. This is disgusting. It is obvious bias. This is obviously a political attack. You are doing this thing nefariously. We know it's not in good faith. And you have the balls to say that, oh, we need to have this trial as soon as possible because Trump's words, that's on Truth Social, which nobody would even use. The Democrats would never even use Truth Social to begin with. The people that are in this, that would be in this case or in that state, would never even use Truth Social to begin with, is going to sway the jury. Right. So that's going to be the case. I highly doubt that Democrats are going to be using Truth Social at all. And even if that would be the case, I don't think even his words are going to sway the jury in any remote sense possible if it's this heavily favored. It's just not going to be possible. Maybe you might get independents, possibly Republicans, but again, there is no way that this is going to happen. That we know how corrupt this is, that we know how bad it is, and it's just another thing that's coming, right? And as I said, good news for the Mar-a-Lago case, not so good news for all the other cases, because obviously we know it's biased. We'll see. We'll keep up to date. We'll go see what's going to go happen here, but it's not looking good for Trump in this regard for these cases, right? In this regard. Everything else, he's taking a big fat W. So we got to look at the good sides, and then we also have to understand the negatives as well. All right, guys, that's the video. Like, subscribe, share. As always, take care.